Hey everybody, this is going to be part 2 of making a Lego character. In the first video, I have made a 3D character that could be spun around in 3D space, and also grouped a couple of things like the arm, so the arms could move together as one. That's why they're in groups. And just so you know, anytime I put anything into a group or a bone layer, it's because I want them to be able to be moved together as one. So that's the same reason for the head parts, why we have the face by itself and then the shape of the head. And that's why it's in a folder, so I can grab the folder and move the head and the face together. And again, that's the reason why the arms are together too. But let's go ahead and go into the arms real quick and make the joints for the elbows. So I'm going to go into the right arm. Let's go ahead. I'm going to reset the turning and the position real quick and then move it over because I want it to be straight up and down, because I basically want to make another group folder. So I'll go ahead and make another group, and I'm going to call this lower right arm parts. And this is going to go inside the right arm bone structure, and then we're going to grab, let's go ahead and move it into the correct place, and then grab the lower arm and the hand together and drag those into the same folder. So again, this is just so I can move the lower arm, and it's going to move the hand too, is the reason I put it in a folder. So if I grab it, then I can twist it around. But the point of origin isn't in the correct place, so let's go ahead and use the set origin tool. And let's move this arrow, these two pink arrows, up to the joint of the arm. So we'll put it right there. Let's go ahead and change the X coordinate to 0, just so it's dead center. And then let's go ahead and test that by using the XY rotation. So that's grabbing the arm at its joint right there and turning it, and that looks good. And then the hand we're just going to leave by itself, because we can go ahead and rotate that using the transform layer tool. And oops, or wait, which one? No. XY rotation. Holding shift and option and dragging left and right, we can actually turn the hand that way. So we'll go ahead and leave that as it is. So we have a group inside of a group. So we have the right arm. Let's go ahead and select the lower arm and reset everything. That just puts it back into its original position. So if I grab this folder and use XY, that moves the arm. The other folder grabs the joint at the elbow. And that's just a really important concept to remember when we're doing this, because it's a little different than your normal way to animate in Anime Studio. I think I'm going to use the XY rotate instead of bones for most of this, except for the legs, because we had to rotate those. So let's go ahead, and now that we've got that set up, go ahead and use the transform layer tool. Let's drag it back over to the body and give it a little rotation, a little turn like that. And then we'll go ahead and set up the left arm. So we're gonna do the same thing. We'll create a new group layer. Call it lower left arm parts. Make sure we drag it into the left arm group. And I'm just gonna move it in the right place. And let's go ahead and grab the hand and the lower left arm together, holding shift down and selecting both of those and dragging those into that folder. We'll go ahead and put it under the upper part just so it looks correct. And let's go ahead and do that again. Reset the transform layer tool and the rotation just so it's a little easier to see where to put the point of origin. You can hit O or click on this tool, and we need to set the origin for the folder. So make sure you have the folder selected for the lower part and put that right in the crease of the upper, or where the joint is between the upper and lower arm. And then we'll go ahead and change this X coordinate to 0. We'll go ahead and give it a little test. Use the XY rotation so we can move that in all directions. We can make the arm turn up, and then grabbing the left arm group, we can rotate the arm itself. So I'll go ahead and go back. Now that we have that set up, let's go ahead and select the arm group, left arm group, which is the entire arm, and move that back into position. I'm holding shift down so it doesn't move up or down, and then rotate it a little bit just so it's in the kind of in the right looking position. So we have our arms rigged, and again, let's go ahead and open this up. We can pose the character. Let's turn his arm this way, grab the group folder, then we can move his arm, spin it in different directions, and then we can grab the character himself and spin him around in any direction as well. Same thing with the other side, left arm. We can rotate the entire arm, or we can grab the subfolder and rotate at the joint. So we've got a nice little weird rig for the arms. Let me do a Command Z. We're just going to undo everything real quick. So we have that rigged. Again, I'm rigging the legs a little bit different just because of how we had to create them and rotate them. So we're going to go to the top layer of the Lego guy, and we'll go ahead and rig the other leg real quick. So I'm going to hit B while I'm on the bone layer, and then click on the canvas so nothing's selected, and we'll go ahead and hit A, add a new bone. We'll go ahead and turn the bone strength down. Click the bone strength, click left, drag to the left, hit B. I'll go ahead and rename this. I'm going to call this right leg front to back, and this is going to be our action for kicking. So we'll go ahead and turn on the color for the bone and the label. Let's select what we just typed and do a Command C because we're going to copy that. Go to Window, Actions, and make sure you're on the bone layer. Select Smart Bones, New Action, and then Command V to paste. So it's going to say right leg front to back. Click OK. And just like in the last video, we're going to go to frame 12 in the timeline. I'll hit T, and we're going to grab the bone layer, or grab the bone, and we're going to rotate it upwards. Start rotating it, and then hold shift, and it'll start snapping. And then let's go ahead and select the right leg, which is this leg right here, and we're going to use the transform layer tool. And under angle, let's type in 90. And that makes the leg rotate forward. Then we'll go ahead, double click back into the main timeline, and then make sure you select the bone layer again at the very top, Lego guy, and then do a new smart bone action again. Do Command V to paste, and then do space and 2. So this is going to create the second bone action, or smart bone action, for this right leg, and hit OK. We'll go to frame 12 again and hit T. I'll go ahead and grab the center of the bone, start rotating it downward, hold shift. It'll snap down so it points directly downward. We'll select the right leg again over here in the layers, and then use the transform layer button right here, and under angle we're going to type in -90. So this is going to make the leg go backwards. And hit return, and we can test it by moving it real quick, and that works. So we can double click back to the timeline. Now we have the leg rigged to move back and forward, and then let's go ahead and make a left to right, just like we did on the first one for the leg too, just in case we want the legs to split apart or something. So I'll hit B, click on the canvas so nothing's selected. We don't want it being parented to anything. I'll go ahead and hit A and draw a bone. Oops. Oh, I'm not on the bone layer. This is something that happens a lot. Just be aware I'm on the right leg layer and I need to be on the bone layer. Hit A, draw a bone going down, click the bone strength, left click and drag to the left to turn it down. Hit B. We'll go ahead and rename this bone. We'll call it right leg side to side. And let's just select what we just typed and then Command C to copy that text. We'll go ahead and turn on the color and label just so we know what it is. And then under Smart Bones, do New Smart Bone Action. And then do a Command V to paste. And hit OK. And we'll go to frame 12. Hit T. Select the center of the bone. Start rotating it, hold shift, go to the right, and then under the right leg, click right leg, and then we're going to use the XY rotation button, and I'll hold shift and option down, and I'm going to left click and drag downward, and it's going to spin like that to the right. Double click back into the main timeline and select the top bone layer again. Do a new Smart Bone Action, Command V, and that's going to paste that text in again. We're going to do space 2 and hit OK. Go to frame 12 again. This time we're going to rotate to the left, so I'll hit T. Start rotating it. Hold shift down, it snaps to the left. We'll select the right leg again one more time. Select the Rotate XY tool, hold shift option, and this time we're going to drag, left click drag up, and it's going to rotate to the left, and double click the main timeline. Now we have that, and let's see here, let's go ahead and test it. Let's go into the timeline, and on the main bone layer, let's go ahead and move these around so it rotates left and right. Probably a little too extreme. You know, we're not going to have our foot intersect the waist, but we can turn it left and right if we need to, and we can change the position so we can actually, oops, if we need to, grab the legs and then change the position too. Oops, not Z, like the X position. So you can actually move the leg back and forward if you need to. Probably won't use that a lot, but the kicking for sure. Let's go. And then let's rotate the body so we can see what it looks like. So we've got the kicking motion, oops, in the timeline. Let's check. So we've got this leg, left legs, or left side leg is working, and so is this one. So we've got the forward and back motion. We can have our character sit if we need him to. And again, we can grab the arms using XY rotation. And the head parts we can actually grab and move around as well. So far so good. Let's reset our character. Every time you see me reset the character, all I'm doing is going to the XY rotation and then just resetting up here. So that resets your character to its default forward facing. I think what we're gonna do, let's do one more group even, so we can actually bend at the waist. I think we'll see if it works. Let's go ahead and create one more group, and we'll call this upper body. So make sure we drag it into the main Lego guy bone layer, and we need to select the right arm, left arm, head, and the body, and then left click and drag that all up into one folder. And nothing moved, so that's good. And let's go ahead and see if that works. We'll use the XY rotation. Yeah, that works. That works really good, actually. So if I hold shift and option down, he can rotate in 45-degree angles. I can have my character bend forward, backward. You can see the point of origin is kind of right in the stomach. Let's go ahead and put that right where it should be, which is down here by the waist. So let's reset, hit 0, or O, I mean, and then, or click the point of origin, or set origin. And let's go ahead and just click this right here between the body and the waist. And then just to make sure it's centered, let's go ahead and change the X coordinate to 0. There we go. Now let's test using the XY rotate layer. And now he bends right at the waist. There is a little bit of clipping, which means, or intersecting. You can see the body goes into the waist and stuff. Maybe we will move. Let's move this point of origin up a little bit. That might get rid of it. Let's reset. And point of origin, let's go ahead and move this up here to the belly button, or where it would be, kind of. And see if that helps out. No, that made it worse. I think that's kind of unavoidable. Let's do... Yeah. With the bending, I think that's just gonna... That clipping's gonna happen. We might have to use some kind of covering to fix them. Still got to figure out how to make these little areas that clip less visible too, but we'll get to that later. So let's check out the character so far. Got the upper body moving. Let's open that folder. We got the head that we can turn. We got the arms that we can rotate. Again, I'm just clicking on folders and using XY to rotate everything. So he's kind of pretty well rigged. The only bones, or smart bones, that I'm really using are for the legs, and that's because we had to do a little rotation type stuff. So, oops. So, and that works. Then let's rotate the entire body. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I think we've got a character going on. So let's do some other things to make this character better. I'm gonna reset all the XY rotations. So I'm gonna click on the folders and just reset anything that I've messed with. Reset, head parts, reset. And I think I have I have shading on some of the hands. I noticed when I was rotating the character. See how it's got some shadows and stuff? Let's go ahead and make those plain real quick. So open the right arm, select the hand, and hit Q and select it, and it turns checkered. Actually, double click the layer, go to vector, 3D options, and then turn the shading to none. And I think turn off materials and apply. And that should make it just plain yellow. Yep. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing with the other hand, the left hand. We'll open that up, hit Q, select it so it turns checkered. Go under 3D options, take off materials, and change the shading to none and apply. Just so it's all looking uniform. And now I'm going to create some color styles so we can change our Lego character as we see fit. So let's go ahead and rotate him forward, close the action window real quick, and let's just create some styles. So let's click on the body first and hit Q, and I'm going to select his shirt. It's pretty hard to see because of the 3D, but hit Q, and then we'll go under styles, new, and we'll call this shirt color. And then let's go ahead and go under styles and select shirt color, and then see if it changes. So I'm left clicking and just dragging over all the colors, and it is changing. And that's what we want. So we can change that real easy. But now we need to do the arms, and the arms is going to be a little different because they were made using 3D lathing. So we need to change the stroke instead of the fill. So because of that, we need to change the we need to make another color style. So I'm going to select the right arm, upper right arm, hit Q, and where is it? I can't even tell if I'm selecting it or not. Oh, okay. I hit T just to see where the stroke is. It's on this side. So I'm going to hit Q and select. You see I have that stroke selected and it's red. Let's go ahead and left click on the stroke and drag it over the shirt color we just made. So that turns that blue. The outline's always going to be black, just because of the way the 3D rendering works. So we'll do styles, new, and we'll just call this shirt color 2. So this is going to be applied to anything that we used for creating the parts that we made that are lathed, which is spun around. So let's go ahead and select the lower arm parts. Lower right arm, I'm going to hit Q, select this stroke, see how it's blue, and we'll go ahead and just say shirt color 2 for the style. And then we'll go over to the other arm, left upper arm, I'll hit Q, make sure I select the stroke, change the style to shirt color 2, and lower left arm, it's already selected, so I can just change the style here to shirt color 2. So now we have the blue color for the shirt. So if we wanted to change the color for our character now, what we would do is go to shirt color, then like I would choose purple, and then I would go to shirt color 2, and then hold shift down and select that same color. And then that's going to change our shirt color. And now let's go ahead and select the waist, and we'll do a color style for that. So hit Q, and it's already selected. You can kind of see the checkered indicator on it. And we'll just do a new style, call this pants color, and then let's just check it. So go under styles, select pants color, and drag that around, and that shows you that it is changing, so it does have a style applied to it. So let's just change it to brown or some kind of orange or whatever, like that. And then we need to apply that color to the legs. So let's rotate our character. I'm going to select the top bone layer and do XY rotation, and I'm just rotating a little bit so it's easier to see the sides. Sorry, I got to turn off my phone. Okay, so hit Q, and we'll select the right leg, and I just rotated him just so you can see it a little better. Hit Q, and you see how when I selected it, there's that checkered pattern. We'll go ahead and select style, pants color, and then we'll do the same for the left leg. Hit Q, select the shape, and then select pants color, like that. And now let's select the bone layer, top one, and reset just so you can see. So now if I select pants color and change that, the entire pants just change with one click. So we could have black. Actually, we can change the stroke color, I think. So let's hold shift down and try gray. Yeah, it does change the color. That's only if we've used extrude though, so that won't work on the arms. But you can change the stroke color on the pants. So just to let you know. And then we got to do one more style color for the skin color. Let's change the shirt again. Let's go back to red. So select that, and then shirt color 2. Hold shift down, select that same color. Now let's go into the head, select the head shape, and remember we created the head with just a stroke and spinning around or lathed. So I'll hit Q, select it, and you can see that it's yellow right now. Let's go ahead and do styles, new, skin color, and And then I'll go ahead and test it by selecting skin color, what I just made. And then holding shift down because it's made with a stroke. And I can change the head color to any color I want. So for the arms, or for the hands, let's go into those. We're going to need to make another skin color. So let's go to right arm, hand, hit Q, and select it. Make sure it's selected. Then we're going to use the fill eye drop. And let's go ahead and pick that brown. Create a new style. Skin color 2. So this is the one with the fill. And then we'll go ahead and change the other arm, or I mean the other hand. Click on the left hand, hit Q, select it, and then we'll go ahead to go to style and use skin color 2. And that changes the skin color. So now we can change all the colors of our character really fast. Again, let's go to shirt color. We'll select green. Select skin color or shirt color 2. Hold shift down. Select that same green or a different color. You can make it, you can make it the skin tone if you wanted. So short sleeves. And then you can change the pants to any color. And then the skin color you can change as well. So skin color, I can do that, and then skin color 2, hold shift down. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I don't know which one I picked. That one? There. Shirt color 2. Pick that too. So it's got like a tank top. And there you go. So it's pretty easy to recolor our character. Now we need to do one more thing. I don't want to make this video extremely long, so the last thing I'll show you is the let's make some hair or hats or something like that. So we have our character now, and we remember anything that's in a group is going to move together regardless of if you have it rigged or not. If it's in a group folder and you're using XY rotation, it's going to move together. So if we go into the head parts and let's create a new layer, let's call this hat, and drag it into that folder. Now what's going to happen is no matter what I draw in here, it's going to move with the head. So let's go ahead and I'm going to draw just a couple lines like this. Let me do that again. Hit A to add points. I'm going to draw a couple of lines. I'll hit U, select that line, and then select create shape, but hit stroke. Make sure strokes turn on and create shape, and you can see there's a black line there. And let's go ahead and lathe it just like we did the head. So double click the layer, create 3D options. Let's go ahead and select lathe and apply. And that spins around the center. Let's go ahead and make sure this point at least is right in the center. So click on it, and under the X, let's type in 0. X coordinate. That just makes it so it's right dead center. And then we can move the hat color, like we can move this down, and then we can move this. So we can make kind of a cowboy hat ish. Let's change the color of the stroke real quick. It's hard to see, but I'm gonna hit Q. If I can see it, it's hard to see. And wait a minute. Let's go ahead and hit Q, select it, and can we change the color? Hold on a second. Oh, it's selected skin color. Let's take off all the styles. Let's double click the layer. 3D options. Turn off materials and shading to none. And what was happening, why I couldn't change the color is because styles were applied to it because of the last thing that we made. So the outline's going to be black, but we need to change the stroke color. So let's change that to like, hit Q, hold shift down, and then select a brown, like a dark brown. So there we go. Now we've got this kind of cowboy hat, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And if I grab the head folder and move it around, the hat's just already stuck onto him. So we don't have to actually do any binding or anything like that. It's just already on there. So if you have a hat that's uniform like this, it's pretty easy to make. But if we wanted, let's say we wanted to make maybe a baseball cap. Let's see if we can do that, because I don't know. I haven't made one yet, but let's go ahead and select the hat. Let's go ahead and move some of these parts and then kind of make it look like a cap, or the top part of a cap. So let's grab this. Maybe let's get rid of that point. And I'm trying to see where the top of the head is. Drag this down. Maybe you want to pull this out so it's over the head a little bit. So that, let's say this is the top part of the baseball cap. Let's go ahead and make this. I'm going to select this stroke. Let's make it red too, just so we can kind of match the shirt. So if we grab the head and rotate it around, we've got kind of the cap, top part of the cap. But we need to make the bill. So instead of lathing, we're going to have to create another part or another layer. So let's go ahead and create a new layer, and let's call this baseball cap bill. And what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and just draw, hit A, and we'll go ahead, well, drag it in the head parts real quick. I'm going to hit A, and I'm just going to draw the bill kind of real rough, facing upwards, and we're going to rotate it. So let's pretend this is a really nice bill. Let's go ahead and change this color to red. And make this the bill. And put it where it should be. I'm going to put the point of origin down here where we want it to rotate. So I'll click on set origin, click right here. I'm going to use the transform layer tool, or actually XY rotate, and then let's see if we can rotate it down. So what I'm doing is holding shift and option and left clicking and dragging down so it turns this way. So it's facing us. Let's click on the head part group and rotate just so we can kind of see where it is. So it's inside the head right now. So we need to move that forward. I'm going to turn the head sideways. Use the transform layer tool. Change the Z position. Nope. And make sure you're on the baseball cap bill only. I just moved the head on accident. Baseball cap. And is it? No, it's not that. Not X. Okay, it's the Z rotation. So see what I'm doing is I'm moving it forward. And then let's grab the folder for the head and let's check that now. It's kind of in the right place. Let's go ahead and make this a little 3D too, because it's flat right now. So let's double click the baseball cap bill, 3D options, and let's do inflate. And hit apply. And turn off materials and no shading and apply. And let's see if that did anything. Baseball cap. Oh, let's make the stroke black too. There, so it's a little easier to see. So the inflate should have made it kind of a little bit thicker. And it's kind of hard to see, but it is actually a little bit thicker, but then it's not placed quite in the right spot yet. So let's go ahead and reset the head. Let's hold shift and option down, turn his head all the way to the right, and then use the transform layer. And it needs to go down a little. Oh, keep doing that. I moved the head. I need to select the baseball cap bill and move that down. Let's rotate the head. I'm trying to get different angles so I can see. It's almost in the right spot. It's pretty close. See that? Let's go ahead and give it a position where we can see it a little better. Select the cap, or the bill, I mean. Transform layer. Let's set it back in the head a little bit. Oops. Right there. All I'm doing is using the XY rotation to kind of see if I have it in the right spot. That's pretty close. The inflate is a little bit too thick maybe, so let's go ahead and hit A, or I mean Q. Select the baseball cap bill, select the color. It's kind of hard to see, it turns checkered, and then when it's selected, go ahead and change the thickness. I'm just scrolling down. Right now it's 0.0279, and I'm just scrolling it to make it a little bit thinner. So it's like 0.0201. And then I'll select the head again. That looks better. I mean, it's not perfect. You can take your time and fix everything, and then you can even come in and, you know, grab the baseball cap bill and then hit T and kind of move the points around too. So I could actually bring this point down, bring this up. And try and get it to look just right. But this is real quick so you guys can kind of see how you might make it. Like that. And there is a very simple hat with a bill. And I showed you how to make kind of a top hat or a cowboy hat. I think I'll finish this video off, because the next video I'm going to go ahead and start making switch layers for the eyes and the mouths, so we can have a complete character, and then we'll go ahead and make some actions so we can make him running, maybe jumping, and just doing different actions to finish up this series of tutorials. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you'd like to check out my digital store at Gumroad, the link's in the description. If you want to buy some characters or get some free stuff, check that out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.